We are now full blown in HasanAbi derangement syndrome in mainstream news. We went from HasanAbi derangement syndrome in like the commentary sphere, and right as the commentary sphere had started shifting in the way that they perceive me, okay, we moved on. Right as the commentary sphere was like, yeah, maybe this guy's not the fucking evil psycho that we presented him as. We turned around, and now the entirety of the fucking mainstream is doing it. This is from the National Review, by the way. Hasan Piker is the enemy. So yeah, Sarah Longwell Efford posts about how she's offended by your evil grandmother problematic age gap coverage. Yeah. But we got it. We got it. It turns out I thought the discourse was over. I thought the culture war around my position as the spokesperson for the Democratic Party was done. It turns out there's new life that was pushed in to the conversation. Matt Iglesias, who is always wrong, has also weighed in on the discourse as well. Everyone is fucking weighing in on the what do we do with HasanAbi discourse. Obviously, there's a like, this is a disciplining operation. That's what it is, and it should be seen as that. Okay. I did the New York Times podcast. We talked for like an hour plus. The rich don't play by the rules, so why should I? From the New York Times Opinions podcast. Now, this only got 5,000 views. However, in spite of the only the 5,000 modest views that it got, it has created discourse to the tune of 5 million views. Okay, you're the Sydney Sweeney of the left. No, I mean, there's a difference between, I think, the space I occupy and Sydney Sweeney. Let's be real. And I am here. I am live. I'm the most problematic podcaster of all time. You already know what it is. Welcome to the broadcast. This is part of the broadcast where I tell you about my personal news about what's going on in the world of Hasan HasanAbi Piker in between the time period where I press the stop streaming button and press the start streaming button. So help me God, that's what I'm going to do. Wow, 7K on the intro. My goat is washed. It is over. Not only am I a chud-ass loser, but my career is over. Everyone is gone. Everyone is canceling me. It's over. What will I do? I guess it's over. Coming to you live, of course, once again, as always, from stolen Tongva territory, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at the heartland of America, West Hollywood, Los Angeles, California, stolen Tongva land. Dr. Jihad, chud-ass loser. You already know what's up. I already will tell you exactly what I've done, which is nothing. I've done nothing. I'm a chud-ass loser who does nothing ever. And I finished beef. That's what I did. I finished beef. And it was great. Season 2 of Beef was great. It was fantastic. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. It got really crazy by the end as well. And it has a dark twist. Tell us about the event you went to last night. I saw you at an event last night. All my friends live in West Hollywood. Tell us about the event you went to last night. No, I didn't. I did not go to an event last night. The fuck? I didn't leave my house at all, as a matter of fact. Very strange. Very strange of you to think that there was something that I went to. What the fuck, banned the stalker? No, it's not even a stalker. It was on X. No. No, it wasn't. Halo Sydney, thank you for the 25 gifted subs. Why would I hide that I went to an event if I went to an event? You probably saw a photo from like something else that I had attended a long time ago. Like the Steal Your Story event or the Hind Rajab event from last week, and you saw that being uploaded onto Twitter last night, and then, okay, never mind, it's okay. No, I want to know, Diana Redheaded Dragon. The fuck are you talking about? Anyway, yeah, they probably saw something on Twitter, like the HasanAbi updates account was like blasting the timeline of all of the events that I have attended in the past couple of weeks, and they thought I did all of that in the same night, which was last night. Like I was both in Trinity College. If you look at the HasanAbi updates account, I was both in Trinity College at the same time as I was doing the Voice of Hindra job screening in Los Angeles. At the same time that I was doing all the stuff. I was everywhere. I was everywhere last night. But the reality is I was nowhere last night. I was home. I watched Beef. I finished Beef. It was great. Went to bed, woke up, and worked out, and then had a convo with Peter Beinart about my utilization of the term Nazi when talking about liberal Zionists, saying that they're liberal Nazis, talking about Hamas, resistance, like militant resistance groups, and why they behave in the violent ways that they do. On a scale of 10 to 10, how hot was Oscar Isaac and Beef? Yeah, I realize maybe this is a stupid thing to say, but like the hotter the people are, the easier the watch. You know, Oscar Isaacs was super hot. The dude was super hot. The young girl, in the young couple, I don't know who she is. She was very cute as well. She looks like a young Jennifer Lawrence. Eunice was great as well. Even the old Korean chairwoman was kind of sexy. Everybody but the British lady, I feel like. Because like her personality, like the character was so annoying. It was like tough. I mean, even like all of the characters were awful, but like she's such a great actor. The British lady is such a great actor that I just could not deal with it. I was like so mad. So hot women exist in this life. Yeah. Wow, your misogyny is showing. What the fuck? The younger girl was a literal psycho. Yeah, I mean, they were all awful at the end, except for Oscar Isaacs, low key. So, it is what it is. Need good acting before anything. Don't show this to Kaya. Hasan the dog magnet. What are you? This is a clip from China.
Oh, he's good.
So cute.
Yeah.
Cheating on your dog? Yeah, I cheat on her all the time, dude. Lagging IRL with the China clip? Yeah, this is a clip from China. It doesn't count if you cheat in China. Yeah, what happens in China stays in China. You were being debated in a New York radio morning. W defense on the pro Hasan guy. Yeah, that's the pro Hasan guy is from The Dig, Daniel Denver. He's the man. He wrote an article about me in The Nation as well. And he was arguing about my position. We'll obviously get started on that. Clearly, that's a huge deal. Clearly, closed presents with 100 bones. God damn. Yeah, I'll do the Daniel Denver story as well. That's definitely on the docket. We have a lot to talk about, folks. Okay, we have a lot to talk about. Canary Mission is unmasked, which is awesome. My grandma wants her Sunday church outfit back. Please stop wearing it on stream and return it. Okay, that's really messed up because me and your grandma have been dating and she lets me wear her clothes. So I don't know why you take issue with that, but like clearly your grandmother does not. This is for all the guys out there who've had their hoodies stolen, okay? Sometimes you got to steal back, okay? Sometimes you got to steal back. Yeah, me and your grandma, we bump uglies, okay? We bump uglies. And then once we're done bumping uglies, I take her clothes and I wear them. That's right. I had to come straight from your grandma's house to the broadcast, and I didn't have a fresh change of clothes, so I wore her shit. And she likes it. She watches on the TV and she goes, "Ah, that's my handsome. That's my handsome right there." That's what she says. She points to the TV. She goes, "See, Hank? He fucked me last night." That's what she says at bingo night, dude. Yeah. true. It's true. Taking the teeth out and everything. She gets wild with it. We got to get you outside more? No, I'm good. I'm good with the amount of outside time that I have. All right, we can't be watching this so close to me making these jokes, okay? I'm sorry, chatter. Try again later, okay? Anyway, if these comments keep you out of the news cycle, then I'm happy. No, the problem is we've officially reached like peak HasanAbi derangement syndrome, which means that everything that I say on this broadcast as a fucking joke will be used against me, against everyone, against your grandmas, okay, against everybody. Like anything that I say on any podcast appearance or on this broadcast will and can be used against me. It's official. We are now full blown in HasanAbi derangement syndrome in mainstream news. We went from HasanAbi derangement syndrome in like the commentary sphere, and right as the commentary sphere had started shifting in the way that they perceive me, okay, we moved on. Right as the commentary sphere was like, yeah, maybe this guy's not the fucking evil psycho that we presented him as. We turned around, and now the entirety of the fucking mainstream is doing it. This is from the National Review, by the way. Hasan Piker is the enemy. So yeah, Sarah Longwell Efford posts about how she's offended by your evil grandmother problematic age gap coverage. Yeah. But we got it. It turns out I thought the discourse was over. I thought the culture war around my position as the spokesperson for the Democratic Party was done. It turns out there's new life that was pushed in to the conversation. Matt Iglesias, who is always wrong, has also weighed in on the discourse as well. Everyone is fucking weighing in on the what do we do with HasanAbi discourse. Obviously, there's a like this is a disciplining operation. That's what it is, and it should be seen as that. Okay. I did the New York Times podcast. We talked for like an hour plus. The rich don't play by the rules, so why should I? From the New York Times Opinions podcast. Now, this only got 5,000 views. However, in spite of the only the 5,000 modest views that it got, it has created discourse to the tune of 5 million views. Okay. You're the Sydney Sweeney of the left? No. I mean, there's a difference between, I think, the space I occupy and Sydney Sweeney. Let's be real. I've listened to you every day for the past 4 years, and I don't think about you as much as mainstream media does lately. Yeah. The original upload got deleted, so that's probably part of it. Oh, okay. I like your cardigan. Where did you get it? You don't want to know where I got this cardigan from. It's a Chatter's grandmother that I'm dating. I've been dating one of your grandmas, and she gave it to me after we bumped uglies. Okay. I watched it on the New York Times website. Maybe more did too. I don't know. But in any case, yeah, rest in peace to grandma. She got hit with a bazooka. And by that, I mean my penis. My penis is the bazooka in this situation. Yeah. Okay. It's not a big deal, but please call her back. I mean, I belong to the streets, Chatter, so I don't know if that'll happen, but, you know, I got to stop. I have to fucking stop. Chris Rabb has decided to do a fucking event that is a rally, for the record. Don't know where that came from. Don't know what's going on there, but I guess he wants to do a rally. And got to talk to them about that. Didn't know that that's what we were doing, but breaking from CNN, Hasan Piker will date your grandmother and steal your inheritance. True. Pragmata, your grandma, is true. It's true. It's true. Trump scheduled to address international media at 3 p.m. today. Great. Yeah. So we're gonna get started on the saga that took place when I dared do another podcast. This time, the New York Times Opinions podcast. And I had some takes on the ethics of theft, whether I care for it or not. I cracked some jokes, which was, of course, unacceptable. BDBD reacted to your interview with Jeffrey Sachs and your opinions on China. John J. Mersheimer belongs in the offensive realism school. What school does Sachs belong to? Oh my, gradually approaching academic art. Neither of these two is pro-China, right? Jeffrey Sachs has always been neutral globalist. When he opposes hegemonic order, as for Hasan, he's left-wing. He's even more anti-imperialism. It's just that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Strictly speaking, Jeffrey cannot be solely classified as pro-China, given that his primary research and stances are also concentrated on traditional anti-American blocs such as Russia, Iran, and Cuba. As for Hasan, due to his ideological and systemic affinities, he can be considered entirely pro-China. Where are the pro-China folks? Only rationalists here. Dream collaboration. Saxon is not pro-China. He is anti-American. That means Jeffrey Sachs. Professor Sachs can indeed be considered pro-China. Of course, he certainly can't compare to us Chinese ourselves. Moreover, if someone completely abandons our own country and blindly pro-China, it would actually make people look down on them. If the Yanks take Israel to task and force Israel to ceasefire, let the Yanks themselves take the lead in pushing through the two-state solution, then exert pressure on Iran by blockading the Strait of Hormuz to force them into a dictated peace instead of recklessly striking Iran as they do now. TLDR, conservatives think the radicals are too conservative. That was Chinese netizens react to two Sinophiles talking about China. This is killing me. Is the beef between Chinese and Japanese really this strong? Bro said fuck crying about interracial relationships. We got real war to focus on. A heartwarming moment in Beijing's Sanlitun where love knows no borders. Who cares? The divine mission of all Chinese men is to participate in the final battle against Japan. Until that is accomplished, black men can accompany Chinese women however they want. What the fuck? What the fuck? That's amazing. Yeah, see, there is something that's more powerful than anti-blackness, which is sometimes seen as like a universal principle, right? Especially in a Western design. A Western hegemonic design of the world, obviously, one of the number one ops has always been black folk in order to justify chattel slavery in the minds of the Western Empire. But it turns out there are certain places on the planet where something takes a stronger priority than anti-blackness, it seems, and that is that's China. Wait, did I blast off at all? Did I even start? Oh, I didn't. All right, let's get to it. Let's blast off before I get into it. I haven't even done that yet. It's crazy. So much going on in the world that I forgot to blast off. Okay. We got New York Times drama. New York Times podcast drama breathes new life to Hasan derangement syndrome discourse. Sugar Baby and DHS, Votorama on ice, Trump orders kills on RGC Navy, your rage on Chad Vice later. Get in now. Fox and Friends covered it too. Dude, every day that goes by that I go viral over and over again is another day that I'm closer and closer to Donald Trump finally fucking doing a Truth Social on me and then someone just assassinating me in the fucking street, you know? Every day that goes by is a day that we are closer to that end. I hope it doesn't happen, but I do worry about that for sure. Trump definitely knows who you are. I hope not. I hope my goat doesn't know who I am, you know? My goat, Donald Trump. Anyway, New York Times podcast drama breathes new life to Hasan derangement syndrome discourse. Sugar Baby and DHS, Votorama on ice. Trump orders kills on IRGC Navy. Your rage on Chad Vice later. Get in now. If that happens, can I have Kaya? No, get in line. Mods, HasanAbi spamming? Yes, of course I'm spamming. You know why I'm spamming. I want you to also tell the people that you know and love to get into the broadcast. Live and alive, baby. Get a Pope mobile? True. Anyway, here it is.
Occasions I was like, I'm just going to go back, grab those 411s and
I'll
get
be
the hell
back
out.
in 1 second.
And
you should go to prison.
I know. You think they're gonna ban me?
They should throw you in jail.
See? I was being serious.
I didn't feel bad about it at all.
I'm proposing a new term, microlooting.
I started going into the grocery store, I would pick up the thing that I wanted, and then I would go.
It's a survival technique. Gotta eat to live, gotta steal to eat.
You're paying for that, right?
No, babe, food is a human right.
People are taking small things from big corporations, and they're feeling justified.
Like, look, everyone's shoplifting from Whole Foods when you're shopping there.
You're not gonna steal from a deli like that. But Whole Foods, fuck Whole Foods. Fuck Bezos, fuck Amazon, all that.
We should be rioting, but we're tired, so I'm gonna take these bagels.
But is it a slippery slope? What's going on with our moral code? To find out, I'm talking to political commentator Hasan Piker and New Yorker writer Gia Tolentino. Thank you both so much for being here with me today to talk about this. Hi, Gia.
Hi.
Hi, Hasan.
Hi.
I want to start with a little exercise just about our own morals. Would you share your Netflix password?
I do.
I also do. Well,
With anyone.
For the longest time, I actually had someone else's Netflix password. That was my primary access to Netflix.
And now you share your own?
Yeah.
Would you get around to paywall on an article you're trying to read?
Do it every day on my stream.
Yes,
Every
and
day.
I support it when people do it for my own work. I say, go off. Use the Wayback Machine.
Would you pirate music from an indie band?
Is it 2005 and I'm using LimeWire? Because yes.
I feel like every millennial has at some point done this.
I feel like fundamentally Spotify is kind of like deleterious to the musician livelihood.
I think the Mangione part of the interview made sense and was totally unobjectionable if you think at all. The shoplifting stuff did confuse me though. Like the written version made it sound like you guys were saying shoplifting is a revolutionary form of protest, but I don't think you would say something like that. So it was probably lost in the transcription. No, I literally talk about how it's, I mean, I don't know what ended up making its way to the final product, but I just straight up was like, I think this stuff is ridiculous. Like, I don't think this is, it's almost self-serving to assume. Actually, we both agreed on this, where we said like, it's self-serving to assume that this is like some kind of revolutionary action. The real thing that you should be doing is like salting every grocery store possible. But I'm pretty sure that, didn't that make it to the final point? Like the final transcript?
I use that, but then I go to the shows.
Yeah, no, I'm pro piracy all the way. Like across the board. Would you pirate a car? Yes. You know, if you could, if one could
pirate a car,
it was just a classic thing back in the day. The government funded anti-piracy initiatives would be like, dude, would you steal a car? I'm like, yeah, sure. If I get away with it, if it was as easy as pirating IP, I would do it. Yeah.
Would you dine and dash from your local diner?
Never. Tip 35%. Mike's, come on.
No, I wouldn't do that. And if I saw somebody doing that, I'd probably pay for their meal.
Yeah. Would you steal a book from the library?
Never.
No.
Would you steal from the Louvre?
Yes.
I would not be logistically capable of executing such a fact, but would I cheer on every news story of people that I see doing it? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's cool. We gotta get back to cool crimes like that. Like, bank robberies, right? Stealing priceless artifacts, things of that nature. I feel like that's way cooler than the 7,000th new cryptocurrency scheme that people are engaging in.
Like, this was endlessly discussed. It's so obvious that I'm fucking joking. It is unbelievable how much discourse that moment invoked. Okay? How much discourse that created. People are literally like, dude, the Louvre is like owned by the French government. It's like, it's for everyone. How dare you? It's all this shit. And it's like, yeah, I'm not being serious, man. The fuck is wrong with y'all? Yeah, Democratic spokesman Hasan Piker supports all sorts of crime as a form of protest. It's crazy. How is this possible? Dude, to be fair, I've been watching for a long time and your sarcasm is very dry. I mean, what is this conversation? Maybe I'm the crazy one. Maybe it is me. Maybe it is my autism and not the autism of others. But like, isn't it pretty obvious what I'm saying there? Am I crazy? Is society crazy or am I crazy? It's like it's like very obviously a fucking, very obviously not serious. Çok şişman çıkmışsın lan röportajda Beard. Amını sikeyim. Bir hafta. Ananı sikeyim senin. No, you are not. They will find something to write about it, even if they didn't have this. They're acting like you're Lupin the Third. I mean, this
useless
is
art bank rob. Yeah, I think it's cool. We gotta get back to cool crimes like that, like bank robberies, right? Stealing priceless artifacts, things of that nature. I feel like that's way cooler than the 7,000th new cryptocurrency scheme that people.
Like, what are we doing? Like, what the fuck? I don't get it. Please explain the joke to me. I'm a centrist Democrat and hate humor. Okay, you guys need to stop. Don't even joke right now. I'm being super honest. Is there something going on? Is there something going on with me? Am I the one who is at fault here? Is it just like my dry autistic delivery that causes people to take things that I'm saying super seriously? Like I'm making like everything that I'm delivering is a socialist hadith, okay? I'm the socialist Ayatollah, and every word that comes out of my mouth, these motherfuckers, the centrists and the right-wingers, they treat it like I'm the socialist Ayatollah. I'm the Ayatollah of woke socialism, and I'm delivering another hadith, a fatwa. I'm delivering a fatwa. Everyone needs to interpret everything I'm saying super seriously. To that, I always have to go back to and say,
legalize comedy.
What the hell? I can't tell if it's like a cynical, weaponized misunderstanding or if there's like genuinely a lot of people that maybe see people twisting my words and making that come across as sincere, and then they get confused. They're like, what the fuck's this guy about? This guy's about murdering everyone and also stealing. He's for stealing everything. I don't get it.
Are engaging in.
Mm-hmm. Would you steal from Whole Foods?
You want to go first?
Yes. And I have, under very specific circumstances. I think that stealing from a big box store, I'll just state my platform. Mm-hmm. It's neither very significant as a moral wrong, nor is it significant in any way as protest or direct action. But I did steal from Whole Foods on several occasions, like... Mm-hmm. I've been involved in like a neighborhood mutual aid group since 2021. And so every week I would go get groceries for Miss Nancy, my now family friend who lived nearby, and she wanted to go to Whole Foods. She wanted food from Whole Foods. So I was like, okay.
You're not at fault at all, in my opinion. I think people have an automatic assumption that people in the political sphere are always 100% serious and sincere. They have no frame of reference for a political entertainer being in the mainstream like you currently are. Yeah, if I'm being serious, I'm being serious. I'll be serious when I have to, right? But then I'll also fucking make jokes. God damn, dude. We can't have any laughter in this life. It's crazy. People are out here straight up saying like, if you are, jokes are immoral, okay? Jokes are bourgeois decadence. If you crack a joke at any point in your life, you must be shot and killed. It's crazy. Jokes are counter-revolutionary. Jokes are bourgeois morality. It's immoral. It's completely unacceptable. Anytime you say anything, I'm gonna take it sincerely. I'm going to treat it like it's the most serious thing you've ever said. You want to steal from the Louvre. You're going to steal from the Louvre. You might have even already stolen from the Louvre, right?
Great. And so I'd be getting Miss Nancy all her groceries, and then I would finish and I'd be like, oh my God, 4 lemons. I forgot 4 lemons. And on several occasions I was like, I'm just going to go back, grab those 4 lemons and get the hell out. And
you should go to prison.
I know. You think they're going to ban me?
They should.
See, am I being sincere, you think? Guys, I read the transcript. He clearly wants to send this author to jail.
They should throw you in jail.
But I didn't feel bad about it at all.
Mm-hmm. And was part of it because of how you feel about Whole Foods as a corporation?
Yeah, it already felt like a bit of a compromise. Like at the time, I was like, I had not been to Whole Foods. I had a bit more sort of consumer discipline about where I was spending my money then, and I already felt like I was in the hole even by shopping there. And it certainly felt in a utilitarian sense. I was like, this is not a big deal.
Well,
right, guys?
I'm pro stealing from big corporations because, you know, they steal quite a bit more from their own workers. However, one thing that might even help your ethical dilemma is the fact that the automated process that they designed, these companies know will increase shrink, right? So it's actually factored in. The lemons that you stole are factored into the bottom line of these mega corporations regardless, and they still end up having increased profit margins because they no longer have to pay the cashiers that they used to hire, as opposed to this automated system, knowing full well that people are still going to be able to still steal a lot more efficiently, as a matter of fact, through the automated process.
Totally. Well, I was looking things up, and shrinkage is roughly equal internally as externally. Like,
you don't realize is that they did take that joke seriously as well. They don't have a problem with throwing shoplifters in prison. Yeah, I just I don't really give a shit, you know? I don't really give a shit about people stealing from big corporations. Like, people make it seem like this is the most consequential ethical dilemma. I feel like there's bigger problems that we just don't address. My argument here is just saying I don't do it, and I talk about it in a little bit. Or I was like, I can't do it. I can't steal it all. There's no way that I can do it. Personally, I just don't care all that much. I feel like there are larger systemic problems at play here. Most of the conversation that we have revolves around the social contract tearing apart, right? Like, I am invested in systemic analysis and offering criticism to you know, everyday systems of violence, structural forms of violence like poverty, and how that has caused people to react the way that they do, right? Because theft is ripping apart the social contract, and it happens as a consequence of the social contract being ripped apart. So I see, you know, forms of violence and you know, things like that happen. I wrote about this on the New York Times, ironically enough, in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's assassination. But these kinds of violent actions are born out of the unlimited violence that we dish out, our culture of ultra violence. But then also they happen. They take place more common, or I can't even fucking talk. They happen all the goddamn time because people are losing their minds, because people are just like, this shit doesn't work anymore. They have less of an investment in American prosperity. They have no investment whatsoever. They're not bought into the system.
They expect it from their employees that they are sort of disenfranchising constantly.
Yeah. But what about the argument that if everyone just starts stealing wantonly from these self-checkout machines, Whole Foods will eventually raise the prices?
Yeah, chaos, full chaos. Let's go. I mean, look, I'm in favor of fast and free buses and also government-owned storefronts. And, you know, two of those policies, the mayor of this beautiful city is currently working on.
Would you encourage stealing in the same way from a Mamdani-run city-owned group?
I don't really care either, but I always think it's silly when people characterize it as a principle, or justify it as, oh, they're robbing us with these prices. Like, you just don't want to pay, that's fine, but let's dispense with this framing. Antisocial actions like shoplifting are not paying for the train as a moral act. I don't think you're doing that, though. Yeah, I'm not. I very clearly am talking about, you know, all of this stuff is irrelevant, and people have less of a buy-in to the system when the system is not fucking creating an environment of stability. That's it. Like, because here is the framework, right? The rich don't play by the rules, so why should I? My point is, the rich don't play by the rules. We should focus on that. That's always my point, right? And people only focus on the why should I part. And it's like, I personally follow the rules. I'm always following the fucking rules. I mean, there are certain instances where I think the rules are silly and stupid, like IP, patents, whatever. But for the most part, I follow the rules. I can't break the rules. I can't violate them at all, okay? But again, regardless, I'm not going to spend a good deal of time talking about the rule breakers when they're just like regular folk, when they're ordinary folk. Because the real problem is the rule breakers that are writing the fucking rules. And this entire conversation is me trying to bring the conversation back to that.
Grocery store with lower prices, and why?
I would not. because I feel like that's taxpayer funded, and the prices are this union labor, and the prices are also adjusted regardless.
I think that hypothetical is interesting, right? Because if you look at it from a categorical imperative type thing, what if everybody did this? You know, the converse is like, oh, what if every major grocery chain stole from workers and consumers? And that is basically true, right? Like, it's interesting. Like, I think it speaks to the thing where a kind of harm committed by the individual strangely continually draws more ire than the same harm being committed by a structure. And so, I kind of am inclined towards this. It's like, everyone try it, see what happens.
Yeah. Well, by the way, ironically enough, I don't personally do it. I never do it. When I was younger, I stole some Pokemon cards from a friend, and my father punished me, and it was such a harrowing experience that I literally can't even steal like a candy bar. When we were in college, a lot of my friends used to love doing that, getting drunk, going to the gas station, 5-finger discount. I would never participate in it, and I still can't to this day participate in it. I'm just saying that I personally don't really care. If someone needs the food, they should absolutely steal it.
There's one thing that's like stealing when you're a teenager and you want the adrenaline rush, and part of it is about testing the rules and getting away with something. But I feel like what I'm seeing on TikTok and social media is people saying that they're stealing from Whole Foods, not just for the thrill.
I saw someone also participating in this discourse and being like, Hasan is telling poor black people to go and steal so they go to prison. And I was like, I'm checking out of this, I think. Unbelievable. That is the maximalist version of like, I say I like pancakes, you say I hate waffles, and you should be going to prison for your take. That was the most insane version of that. I saw a piece of that on TikTok. I do appreciate it because it reminds me, it harkens back to like the Tumblr ultra woke discourse. You know, that's like a woke 1.0 relic. But, you know, excellent stuff regardless. Central Committee, thank you for the raid. Hope you had a good stream, brother. Very interesting times that we are alive currently. Anyway, let's continue.
But out of a feeling of anger and moral justification, because the rich don't play by the rules. So why should I? And Jeff Bezos has too much money. He's a billionaire. So why should I have to pay for organic avocados? My friends and I have started calling this microlooting because it has a like slight political valence to the theft as opposed to just the thrill of getting away with something. Have you noticed this around you online? Have you noticed more people talking about stealing in this way?
I mean, I have not seen people talking about microlooting or such, you know, whatever action that this is online. But I think, I mean, it kind of speaks to an attenuation of the tactical language of direct action. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if it's like, it doesn't work for me as a form of direct action because it's concealed, right? Like any successful direct action in history has to be ostentatious, has to make itself known, is ideally collective.
How did stealing get brought up and why is she asking so much about it? I don't know why I guess that's what they wanted to talk about, like micro looting or something. I don't care.
And this is sort of necessarily individual and hidden. But I'm like, oh, great. Let's think of ways to, like, let's take this energy and let's move it into some other thing. Like, I think it's great that the valence of property is kind of on the table as something to be toyed with in terms of direct action. I feel like we've forgotten there is a long and storied history of sabotage and sort of engagement with property destruction even, which is abhorrent to people. I mean, you remember in 2020, the like Gucci, Chanel stuff.
I steal cheese because it's too expensive and I am poor. What are you, a rat? Fucking ratatouille ass motherfucker. That's so funny. I mean, respect. All right, let's continue.
In Soho, when that was looted.
Well, NYPD is investigating a robbery pattern targeting high-end clothing boutiques in Soho. Latest happening Tuesday at the Chanel on Spring Street.
That looms so much larger in many sort of Bloomberg liberals' imaginations as profoundly more violent in some ways than the original action being protested, right? And I find that really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about the Boston Tea Party as part of like, that's a political destruction of property. And yet right now it feels like, I agree with you. The looting around the 2020 protests was such a huge talking point. It made people so uncomfortable. And I'm curious why, like, what do you think the root of that is? I
was thinking, you know, that thieves are actually quite highly valorized.
This feels like bait to make people hate the media and leftists. I mean, I don't think I gave any like super unreasonable answers here. I was just like, I don't really give a shit when people who need the food steal the food. Who fucking cares? And also, let's talk about the larger problem, which is our hyper focus on like property rights that we actually place a lot more emphasis on in our commodity fetishist culture, where we literally place the protection of private property and the interests of private property and the storefronts over the interests of human beings. Also, Majority Report, thank you for the raid. But it is precisely that. It is designed to make Matt Iglesias shudder.
In narrative, you know, I mean, Aladdin famously.
Stop! Robin Hood, Jean
Hood,
Valjean.
right? Yeah, Jean Valjean.
Stole a loaf of bread.
We understand it's well within the collective consciousness that stealing for need or purpose, you know, it's something that we understand and feel quite friendly towards. And I think if someone were, let's say, walking out of Whole Foods with an IKEA bag of whatever and giving it to the people, you know, sheltering underneath the scaffold.
There's a line where if you talk about this for too long, it starts to look like a caricature of leftism, stuff you would find in a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, I guess.
At the jail going up in Brooklyn next door, you know, like, I think most people would agree that, you know, like if someone were to be stealing with a purpose, we love that in America. We do. We can love it again. We just have to do it with a purpose.
I was reading a Pew Research poll about Americans' morality, and it basically was just like, well, we didn't even ask about the obviously immoral things like theft. We only asked about like having an affair. And I was like, but I feel like part of what I'm seeing around me is that people feel like the laws are immoral. The rich don't play by the rules. We live in a society where there are billionaires, where the top 1% holds 32% of the net worth and the bottom 50% holds 2.5%. So at some point, if the laws don't feel moral, do you start to question your own sense of having to abide by them?
Of course.
Yeah. I wanted to work off of a point that you were making. This was also something that was addressed in a previous New York Times podcast that I did with Rouse Douthat, where I brought up the concept of adventurism. In the Marxist tradition, adventurism is the action that is oftentimes decentralized. Oftentimes anarchists will say this is a propaganda of the deed. The action itself, no matter how violent or how disruptive it is justifiable because the disruption is the point. I believe in the power of organized labor and labor militancy and building these structures of power so that we can actually make more effective change, more longstanding change. So concepts such as microlooting indicate that there is an energy there, just like you said. And yet many Americans, I think, are totally oblivious to this political language. They lack the political education. They lack the class consciousness to recognize their position in society, and lack the capacity, unfortunately, to engage in some kind of organized disruption that would be infinitely more effective.
I think what you
like, I feel, okay, serious question. That's the heart of my argument, right? I'm like, yeah, microlooting is irrelevant, unnecessary. It's a breakdown of the social order that we have, and clearly there's an energy that people clearly there's a need here. There's an appetite for fighting back, but at the end of the day, it's infinitely less productive than it's infinitely less productive than like organized labor and labor militancy, right? People are just being dumb. What they see is the tax the rich shirt douchebag with just two women with valley accents. People view it as you're being out of touch without actually listening to what's being said. Damn, that was very rough, Miss Metafan. God damn, one of the OGs in this community coming in and cooking my ass so hard. You didn't something insanely complicated. People are just purposely misrepresenting it. I just think that I'm not doing a good enough job, clearly, as a communicator. if so many people are voluntarily, cynically or not, misunderstanding the point that I'm making, you know? And I don't know if we just say this is bad faith and move on. Some of it is bad faith, but clearly even the bad faith interpretations, when that's the only analysis that's first to market and it's so pervasive, it does, I think, cause other people in the margins who would otherwise understand what I'm talking about to misunderstand what I'm saying and also engage in this like bad faith interpretation. And they just like remember me as the guy who is a pro stealing and killing people, or I don't know, whatever the fuck people are saying. Now you are. There are limits to what you can say versus how someone can engage with your words. It's a matter of the times, a matter of the individual, a matter of worldview. I don't think many people who were upset by our language even watch this fucking video. Yeah.
We're saying about people lack the language and the organizing structure to engage in like the obvious thing to do if you want to chip into the Whole Foods / Amazon mega structure of exploitation is to unionize, like to.
Hasan's biggest issue when he speaks out about difficult topics with a ton of nuance, it's just not something modern internet culture is capable of handling. It's all about quick clips and assumptions. Substance is all out the window. Yes, but I like Hasan because he persists with this nuance, because that is how we should be. And people are smart enough to understand will actually listen instead of biting at clips. There's a lot of smart people. Yeah, I don't know. Hasan's biggest issue is he tries to talk about complex topics from a position of authority when he has neither the intelligence or experience to do so. Like, this is the type of person. This is the type of person that I always am trying to fucking understand. Yeah, Sam Adler Bell says, my contribution to Hasan discourse. I watched a lot of Nick Fuentes on Rumble while working on a piece. The odd thing is that Fuentes is not at all a typical streamer. He's doing a throwback thing, looking into camera, no live chat, just monologuing. Incel Walter Conkright, very impressive. I don't watch him, but I approve of Hasan Piker because I think it's really important for left-wingers to be handsome. And then he also followed up by saying, also regarding Hasan's statement on the UHC assassination, I said pretty much the same thing in my column and on Chris Hayes' show. Democrats aren't lining up to associate themselves with me, but nobody tried to cancel me. Yeah. Got to try harder, bud, to try to get canceled. Yeah, it's they're deliberately misunderstanding and misrepresenting. The only way you get them to stop is to become less moral than they are. The entire hate campaign is gaslighting you into doubting your communication skills. Centrists can't deplatform you, so they try to demoralize you. I mean, they're not going to succeed. They're not going to succeed. And not only that, but I also do think that this causes people, I think, to dig deep, to scratch the surface and to go on their own personal journeys. Like, people will hear the concept of social murder, and I explain it, right? In that short clip that was clipped to say Hasan loves when murder takes place. He's saying every wealthy person is murdering people by the dozens, and all of the wealthy people should be killed, or whatever the fuck people are interpreting that I'm saying. But there will be some people that will go, wait a minute, what the fuck's this guy talking about? What is social murder? I never thought about that. I never thought about it like that. Let me take a look. Let me try to figure out what he was saying here, you know? Matty Boy wants to pontificate. Yeah, this is funny as well. Matt, you've seen 7 Hasan clips for a total of 2 minutes. Out of context, please shut the fuck up. I haven't seen any clips. I get my information from reading things. Buddy, the medium that I'm in is not a written medium, okay? And this means that everything that you've read about me is filtered through the lens of people who fucking despise me. Why the fuck do you think you're going to actually have a nuanced perspective on whatever I'm talking about? Of course you're going to be like, oh, this guy's the fucking idiot. Anyway, but that's Matt Iglesias, who is professionally wrong. So I don't mind his hatred. I welcome his hatred. This cancellation has let me introduce you to my normie friends and them being far more willing to hear you out because of how much they hate the people saying these things about you. Yeah, it's great. I've learned everything about this musician's music by reading them. Yeah. You were on the New York Times, the supposed pinnacle of analysis. Are you not allowed to be nuanced on the New York Times? You know, they just want a new reason to put out the negativity around you so they can use what they can. You know that? Stop playing dumb. No, I see that. I see why Matt Iglesias would say that, because obviously it's much easier for him to do that rather than to sincerely take a look at what I'm saying and maybe identify with some of those points and try to address those points on its own without the negative filter that is slapped onto it that continues through the discourse circuit, right? Because it's much easier to be like, Hasan hates America and loves when people are murdered than to be like, Hasan is addressing the concept of social murder and offering analysis as to why the Gen Z, the generation that is, in abject poverty in comparison to like the fucking boomers in that same time frame when they were the age of Gen Z, and how what their response has been to the violation of the social contract and how little they fucking care about the future of this country. Like that is the analysis that I'm applying here.
Work at a Whole Foods and form a union. And I think the first one was formed recently in Philly, I think. But, it's like microlooting. It feels akin to like a posting about something. Like it's a
kind of, we're going to talk about this in a second as well.
As an atomized individual action, it's useless. It's much harder to get a job and accept $17.50 an hour and then to organize your colleagues, a process that takes years and is often unsuccessful. I mean, that's really, the thing about actual collective direct action. It's so much harder. And it often doesn't profit you whatsoever, such as, me getting an extra $10 by grabbing my extra loaf of bread from Miss Nancy. I do think we are also lazy as humans. We're also selfish. We also, we've lost not only the language and the union density and the structure to engage in things like this, but we have also lost the sort of muscle that is built up to be able to engage in these sort of things. We've lost the rooms in which these things are planned,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the confidence. I think we've lost the confidence within ourselves because there is not a lot of action like this. And in the absence of that, we lack the willpower because we don't even know what that would look like.
And the climate protests in Europe tend to be more militant, right, than the ones that are here. And they are, blocking roadways, like these things that are even objectively completely nonviolent forms of obstruction and interference that don't even involve property destruction, but merely the interruption of the capital flow of the workday. Like,
someone give me the live broadcast for Fox News. Apparently they're talking big shit again. Let's hear. Dude, it's so funny. It's so fucking funny. Oh my God. Every damn day of the week.
Was engaging in a tremendous amount of social murder. Virtually every American has a similar experience, a shared experience where they have a loved one that spent their last days, instead of spending them with their family, spending it on the phone, talking to their healthcare provider, to